I am very excited about the opportunities and the possibilities for collaboration. We've had some discussions in our group with Expedia about how we package our experiences to ensure that when guests are planning their trip and they look for flights or hotels, that they can also find experiences. We've been talking about how we ensure that we can put all the information in a place that's easy to access. Someone comes to Dominica, what are the things to do? What are the experiences that they can be part of? So we're having a number of discussions. Israel is also on our table, and we're discussing, again, in terms of impact travel, how we can ensure that when individuals visit Dominica, that they can contribute, they can be part of the NGO experience and what they are also trying to do in Dominica. Looking at the indigenous community, the Kainago territory, how we can showcase that a bit more, work with them to develop the product, to develop the craft. So we've been having a number of interesting discussions. I don't have the names of all of those on my table, but I'm very sure that we're going to continue this discussion. We have with us a fashion designer from New York, and we have some very interesting ideas that he would probably like to share with you, so I'm just going to let him speak to you.
Thank you, Madam Minister. Thank you all for having me here as part of this delegation with the Clinton Global Initiative. It's been a great morning and very lively and spirited conversation around tourism and culture that is phenomenal, and we plan to continue speaking this evening as well. You know, we really started off the sort of group conversation around tourism and culture focused on different things, different ideas, but the collective group idea was really focused on sort of impact and promoting the beautiful nature and culture of the Dominica that we've seen in the last, I don't know, 20-something hours, and hopefully to see a lot more of. And truly the sustainable aspect, the eco, the nature, the wealth of beauty that is here, that's what we really focused on. And, you know, obviously I'm looking at it from a very specific sort of fashion-focused lens, and just through the aspects and the avenues that I know that relate to my industry and the reach that this island has, I think is just remarkable, and I'm thrilled to be here. So thank you all for having us.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning once again. For us from the Ministry of Agriculture, we are delighted to be part of this wonderful exercise. We had some very insightful discussions with Nate from the World Central Kitchen organization, and a lot of it is focused on food production, strengthening the smallholder productive base, and how we integrate that into food production. And food production, I mean actual edible and meals. And how do we integrate that within an emergency setting post climatic or other disaster. So I would like to turn over to Nate. We had some really interesting discussions, and we will probably work with the Ministry for Commerce and Tourism and planning, of course, to develop some kind of initiative, some kind of collaboration, and to make something come out of our discussion. So I'd like to turn over to Nate for a little.
Yes, of course. Hello, my name is Nate Mook. I'm the Executive Director of World Central Kitchen. Thank you, PS. And PS for the discussion today. I think you know, I've been in Dominica for a very short period of time, but already have seen the great opportunity that this island has, and it's exciting. I think that it's great to see the leadership in the different ministries and with the new agency CREED, really looking at how to develop Dominica into a country that is very productive and very resilient in looking at the next generation. So it's a very exciting time. We spoke about many things, but I'll highlight just a few of them. We looked at how the growth in the tourism sector with the new hotels that are opening up, how we can create more of a pipeline both for the workforce in the food and beverage sectors with culinary training and the potential for a culinary school can feed into and support the growth of the tourism sector here in Dominica. Also how that sector can also link with the agriculture producers and those producing food and beverage products locally here on the island. I think, you know, food is a very unique thing because it touches almost everything. You know, it touches so many different sectors and is so critically important. It's also something that all of us need at all times, especially in the aftermath of emergencies. And so to be more prepared, looking at how we can utilize the regional centers across the island to, you know, be able to produce prepared food in the advent of another hurricane or future climate-related disaster, but also can be utilized in the meantime for potentially preparation, production, training, and, you know, other useful utilities when not in those times of emergency. I think we also spoke about how the incredible products here in Dominica and looking at how to support and bring those products, giving them access to market. I mean, looking back to the banana industry in decades ago and how, you know, what were the structures in place to make that successful and how we could potentially work together collaboratively to create new structures for small farmers to support the growth of certain industries and also potentially new industries, looking at cacao or coffee and other products that could be produced here. So anyway, touch on that. I think, you know, there's exciting next steps to take, and I'm looking forward to taking back to our team and applying some of the things that we do in other places and bringing that expertise here to Dominica. So thank you very much, PS and PS and PS.
Thank you very much, Nate, and thank you, PS Thomas. All right, we go over to information, communication, technology. Please ensure you introduce yourself for the media.
Yes, PS Severin from the Ministry of Housing and Lands and also Information Science, Telecommunications and Technology. We have here with us Luke from CGI. We discuss a specific initiative that we're looking at as we recognize following the heels of Hurricane Maria, where we lost all our telecommunication network, our ability to communicate with the rest of the world and even among ourselves. So we're looking at what can we do in order for us to not have a repetition of such a situation in Dominica. And so part of the initiative we have discussed with them, looking at how we can run most of our infrastructure or telecommunication infrastructure on the ground, and also to look at how we can parallel, just as we have our water on the ground, our telecommunications on fiber. We're going to look at our 4 various means of telecommunication, whether it's through satellite network, through the cloud technology, through air fiber or the underground fiber. We look at that and we discuss and we propose to them in which of these 4 areas that we'll be able to collaborate with the ministry in order to develop it now. Equally, we also propose to them the development of an ICT park. And you may have heard that previously that the government was trying to develop the ICT park in the Portsmouth area. We're hoping that through their network of CGI, we'll be able to bring most of the players, international players, together and to create a forum in which we can discuss the development of that ICT park, where it will look at telemedicine, tele-education, we'll look at information gathering, mining, data center, so that we'll be able to have the sort of technologies that are available to us, where most of our statistical information and knowledge about people would actually be stored and housed, so that once the storm passes, we'll be able to access all information to make decisions. So I'm going to hand over to Luke, and he will give a synopsis of some of the areas in our broad discussions that he think are useful for continued collaboration. Luke.
Thank you, PS.
Thank you. Thank you, PS. Yeah, we had a great conversation at our table, really lively. I think the PS started laying out their plans, many of which are in partnership with Digicel to lay underground networks, think about supporting telemedicine, and then we more broadly thought about the cultural change that will need to go into place to make Dominica the #1 digital economy in the Caribbean. We thought about our network at CGI and folks that we could bring to the table to help with this culture change and shift that really will be part and parcel of transforming the government and the economy to be more digitized. And then we also thought about the ICT park, parallels on other islands that we're working on that we might be able to draw information from as this ICT park comes to fruition. We had a great conversation about really how ICT is the intersection of all of Dominica and every society, thinking about ports and tourism and education and housing, and how integral it is to all of those various components. And then we finally spoke briefly about the information gathering and the kind of data rigor that needs to go into place as you think about turning a country into the first climate resilient nation in the world. We thought about some of our partners that are doing mapping exercises on other islands to identify vulnerabilities in case of future disasters, and are thinking about ways that we could work together. And we kind of led it with agreeing to establish an informal working group to take this conversation forward with various PSs, folks in the government, Digicel, and others. It was a great conversation, and there's a lot more to come.
Thank you, Luke, and thank you, PS Secretary. Okay, and we go to PS Burton and her colleague from CGI, and PS Burton has been...
A pleasant good morning to all. Sylvanie Burton, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Trade, Energy and Employment. I have with me this morning Anne, who is from CORE, and CORE means Community Organized Relief Effort. We had discussions with Anne. She works her organization works in Haiti as well as in the United States, and we focused our attention on energy. We looked at the geothermal plant, which the government of Dominica will construct. A 7 megawatt geothermal plant. We expect construction to begin in the last quarter of this year, and the duration of construction will be for 18 months. We also looked at the possibility of utilizing microgrids to assist us in building a resilient energy sector, as well as solar energy. And so we had quite a bit of discussions because Anne really wanted to take some lessons from us to bring back to Haiti. We had DOMLEC with us, and so we also looked at what it is that DOMLEC is doing at present, working with the Ministry of Trade, Energy and Employment, so that we can truly reduce the cost of electricity to the residents of Dominica. And so I introduce to you Anne from CORE.
Hi. The discussion was actually exactly that, just getting a lot of learnings from the experience of PS Burton. Again, I was in awe, sorry, these are all in my face, in awe of what the work that PS Burton has been doing with the different agencies, which is obviously a holistic approach. In every discussion that we were having, it was also thinking about how can we make the the geothermal consider the tourism impact, the livelihoods impact. So that holistic thinking is very unique, and I think a huge opportunity to be sharing that approach with other countries in the Caribbean. I also think that we also discussed a little bit about the land tenure issues that relate to these larger projects, and we would love to support in any way some of the learnings that we've had in a very difficult context with land tenure issues in Haiti and how we can support that effort. But again, I think it's a phenomenal approach, and I think the leadership from the Prime Minister being so obviously imbued all the way down to these agencies is very evident, and I think we have a lot of learnings that we can take, and we invite you not just to come to Haiti, but to share some of these approaches and unique experiences to other contexts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne. Thank you very, very much. Now, with our guests here, we want to ensure that you get a piece of Dominica to go with, right? Yes? And so we will be organizing between Discover Dominica, Colin is here, and Invest Dominica to ensure that you get a little bit of the experience of all the lovely places and scenic areas of Dominica. And SPM told you, don't just be in the air-conditioned room. So we will have the conversation with you to ensure that you experience something. We're going to talk it in somewhere within the schedule.
Our gratitude to all of you here present, but in particular to our delegation from the Clinton Global Initiative. We want to say thank you very much for coming, gracing us with your presence here in Dominica, coming all the way to have discussions with us and to see how we can really work together as we build a climate resilient Dominica. We are very, very grateful that you're here, and we know that it is going to be a very long partnership that has just started here. We've just planted the seed, and we expect it to grow into something very, very fruitful. So once again, thank you. Thank you to all of my colleague PSs for organizing to be here this morning. I know that we have very busy schedules, but this is very, very important as we work towards achieving our goals. To everyone else, I say very good thank you. PS, you've worked very hard, and I know Nikima is sitting behind the media. I'm not seeing her face very well, but I know that she has been on the ball. We want to say thank you very much for organizing this round table, and we also want to thank the media for being here with us this morning. To all, I say thank you, and as PS has indicated, the team, please ensure that you get a little bit of Dominica. Please go to the hot water, get a hot water bath, go all the way to Cabarets, go some whale watching, maybe scuba diving, but please take back some very good memories of Dominica so that the partnership can grow on, but you will always remember Dominica. So once again, thanks to all.